It's a very, very special occasion. We are here not to say goodbye, but we're here to say thank you to retired now, Captain David Barke. And there's a lot of really good friends that I know that David is thrilled to have he worked with over the years. So thank you so much for coming out and making this even more special with your presence today. So let's talk a little bit about Captain David Barke. He began his journey with the York-Poquoson Sheriff's Office in September of 1994.
Tell an adult.
And retired on January the 1st, 2026. So he gave the county outstanding service for well over 31 years. He started as a corrections deputy. He was a patrol deputy. He became the first certified crime prevention deputy in Sheriff's Office history when he did that. He was a sergeant in administration, a lieutenant in administration. Then he became the patrol captain and finally retired as the captain of administration. As a patrol captain, he initiated a lot of the brand new things that we kind of take it for granted now when he started. But the one thing that I really think that David, we need to talk about the accomplishment he had is in 2018, after about 22 years of not no, hell no, I decided that it was a good idea to start the K-9 program again. And I remember the look on his face when I called him in the office and said, I think we need to start the K-9 program again. And he's like, this isn't you. But I said, we're going to set the bar high, which we did. And he basically took that program and ran with it. And I think today, as a direct result of the things that he did and some of the programs he initiated and the people that he had a direct hand in selecting, I don't think there's any question we have the finest K-9 program in the Commonwealth of Virginia, and I would argue with anyone, and that's a direct result of your guidance. So thank you so very much for that. He also played a huge role in those same years as when we started developing the project for this building. David and I went to the IACP design school up in Alexandria, where I learned he's not a big fan of Chipotle. He wasn't thrilled when that was my choice to go out for dinner, but we went to the school and came back, and over the next 6 months or so, he and I were heavily involved with the design team that designed this building. But when that project started here, I kind of dropped out of it. David took it and ran with it, and I mean, I think he was a daily fixture here. I think Wayne, who's here from the construction company, he's here because they became like brothers. There he is. And really, that became his forte. And I think a lot of the fact that this building was built as quickly as it was a lot of David prodding on a regular basis and making sure that everything was being done. And he also was the person that was instrumental in the transition from 5,300 to 53,000 square feet, and everybody would agree that went relatively smoothly. Probably got a little too much butt chewings every once in a while over the fact that the AC didn't work when we moved in here, when it really wasn't his fault. But he certainly worked with the contractors and got all of that fixed. One of the things that I think is really important that we recognize is not only did David have 31 years of service, public service to the citizens of Poquoson and the county of York, but he was also heavily involved in the service to our country. David was in the National Guard. He was a crew chief on a Black Hawk helicopter and served a tour of duty in Iraq, where we had to let him go for a year. And he wasn't in one of the greatest places over there. He was in some pretty bad spots. And we've had a lot of conversations over the years, some of his talks. And I learned that helicopters don't crash, they just land really hard. That's right, there's no such thing as a helicopter crash. But he's also passed that service along to his kids as well, because both of his sons that are here today both served in the military in the United States Army. And Dylan just graduated from the South Carolina training facility down there. He's with the Columbia, South Carolina Police Department now. And Colton's with the Newport News Fire Department. So thank you both for your service. And that's a direct tribute to your dad. I'm sure that he was huge in your decision to do that. So David, if you'll come up here, we've got some things to transfer over right now. So clearly this is your weapons transfer, your retired captain's badge and ID. And we're also going to transition you to your auxiliary deputy's badge, and hopefully we'll keep seeing you, which we believe we will on a regular basis. And David, for whatever reason, wanted this off of his door. So we pried that off of the door to give it to him as well. So last but not least, this is kind of commemorative to all of the things that he was able to accomplish here, all the badges that he wore, the stripes, all of his ribbons. And clearly, this one right here is really a tribute to what I said before. It's got 31 and Roman numerals on it, which is obviously his years of service here. But we all thought it was very fitting that the building, which will be a lasting testament to him, all the work that he did, it was fitting to have on there as well. So congratulations on your retirement, and thank you so very much for 31 years of service. We really appreciate that. I know Major West, who was your partner in crime for many years, has a few words he would like to impart now.
Yeah, I'm going to keep it short. First face I saw when I started working here, first shift partner, patrol shift partner, admin running me, followed your steps through sergeant admin, lieutenant admin. I always looked up to the knowledge that you had, and I respected leadership. You passed it along, and I credit all of my success moving up the chain to you. You pushed me harder than I wanted to be pushed. They didn't give me the worst evaluation I've ever had. My closest friend gave me the worst evaluation I ever got here. But it was true. It was honest. And I never got anything except honesty from you. So you helped me get to where I am. I'll never forget it. I consider you one of my closest friends, and I'm proud of you for making it to where you were able to retire. I'm happy for you, and I wish you nothing but the absolute best. I love your family. They've been wonderful. I've watched them grow up from the beginning, and they're serving you proud. They're doing a great thing. They're doing good work. Found wonderful women and going to raise beautiful families from both sides. So I just want to congratulate you, shake your hand, and look forward to more.
Well, I got nothing but good to say about David, because I know for a fact I wouldn't be standing here today in this captain uniform if it wasn't for his contributions to me. Of course, y'all always heard my wife played the greatest role in that, because she knows when to jerk the chain. But huge influence on me, great leadership for me, numerous conversations, so many back by the smoking pole in the rear of the old sheriff's office I've lost count. I mean, for development of me professionally, you were one of the by far the greatest influences in my life. So I can tell y'all, this man means a lot to me, means everything to me, and I'm going to miss you around here, that's for sure. So thank you very much for everything, and thank you for everything you ever did to me.
So at this point in time, I guess, David, it's time for you to say what you had to say.
Well, you know, I have been long-winded before, but I don't know that I have that in me. But it's weird, right? I've worn some sort of uniform since I was maybe certainly 17 years old, but I went to military school, so starting in the 8th grade, I wore a uniform since then. And it's weird to wake up and not have a uniform to put on every day. That's something, you know, that's hard. I saw Jimmy Richardson here earlier, but as I look over the crowd, I see so many eras out of that 31 years. You know, Jimmy was my first lieutenant. I see Dave Patrick standing over there. I remember him. He was a street lieutenant or sergeant when I started. A lot of you in this room I hired. I see Monty back there. He was my first captain. Jeff Payne, and I see Kyle's laughing back there. Sadler, you can come in.
Well, that's his spot.
You know, people have been asking me, I've talked to a few people since I've been gone, and they're asking me how it's like to be retired. And I really don't know, because at least for the first month, maybe, you think, I'm just on days off. I'm gonna go back, you know, in your mind, I'm gonna go back to work in a couple days or something. But what really got me, and it has to happen, right, is I was still getting command pages. And then we had what came over the news as an officer-involved shooting in York County, but I know it was James City, right? But somebody came to the house and they were like, what happened with that officer-involved shooting in York County? And I'm like, what are you talking about? Right? That's the first time that I know of that I didn't get that command page for many, many, many years, right? So it was kind of eye-opening. But I miss everybody. I miss this. I see the girls back there. Kristen's not here, I guess.
No, our son's sick. But she would just say you treated her like one of your
That's
soldiers.
what I was going to bring up.
Yeah.
When I came back
that.
from Iraq, Kristen Crowe thought I treated her like like she was one of my little privates or something. But I really have tried to make an impact on everybody and help everybody do better. It's nice that Jake and Doug and everybody's here from outside of the sheriff's office. I've done my best to be positive and have a good positive impact on everybody. I can't tell stories on everybody. I see Jared and Damon back there. You know, in a different setting, I have plenty of stories on Robinson, who's back there.
Tell some.
Just ask him about that.
Okay, he won't tell me, but I'll ask.
That glitter up at the Target parking lot. I'm rambling now, I know this, right? But I am trying to move on. The two gentlemen up here are Dan and Gary, and I met them when I was working extra duty at Foundations Church. We sort of hit it off, and we've been going to lunch, not every week, but once every few weeks. Hot Dog King, Ernie, my good friend Ernie, he is here. I'm going to tell you, I was in a bind, maybe, I don't know, a couple months ago. I need to go to Florida. So I got in my truck. My daughter-in-law, Kendall, was running a little late. Right? We were going to leave at like 5 o'clock. Couldn't leave. She was working or something. Couldn't make it. We didn't leave until like 8 o'clock. I pull up to pick her up, and my truck shuts off. It's a newer truck, just shuts off. And I was going to see my grandkids in Florida. So I'm like, hey, you know, we're just not going. I couldn't get it to start. We're just not going. Luckily, Kendall was late, or we'd have been, who knows, you know, somewhere halfway between here and Florida. Lord works in mysterious ways sometimes, right? So I said, okay, we're not going. So then Ernie works at what I call Hampton Chevrolet, but it's First Team Chevrolet, and I called Ernie just to say, hey, it just won't do anything. It's just, have you heard anything at the dealership or something? And he's like, no, but get it in. We'll look at it first thing in the morning, or whatever he said. And a few minutes later, he called me back. Why was I going to Florida? I don't. Oh, for his baptism, my grandson's baptism. A few minutes later, Ernie called me back and he said, hey, I've got a Tahoe, brand new Tahoe. Come get it. Lives in Seaford. Come get it. Go to Florida. See your kid your grandson get baptized. Ernie saved me. Right? And there's not a whole lot of people in my life that have been close like that with me, right? I could have rented a car, but it's the middle of the night, and Ernie saved the day, right? And so many of you have helped me along the way, saving the day, whatever that may have been that day, right? I know I've been hard on some of y'all, but it wasn't intentional. It was to make you better, and I don't really remember I gave Tommy the worst evaluation that he's ever had. Right? I think I need to talk about Shelly Anderson. I was with Shelly Anderson on 9/11.
Stand side by side.
So usually, we talk at least that one day. The sheriff, I think you're right. Wayne and I became very close here at the building. I even called him last week or maybe the week before, and I told him about the gate that was messed up over on the other side that Blinko had to fix. He blamed it on the installers, not
Well, that's what you're supposed to do.
Many days with Jake in Motorola, doing stuff. Utah, first time I went to Utah was with Jake, and I loved it. I would go back today. Doug, Bonnie, they saved me lots of times when I needed a car, right? They're from vehicle maintenance, and I would call them and say, hey, Doug, don't kill that car. And he would give me a little bit longer. But, there's just so much to say. I'm going to try to wrap up. We'll be here all day. Noah, them legs still must be strong from supporting Robinson, carrying Robinson all these years. Kyle, I see you back there. I don't know, right? I could talk, but I'll stop. But I want to thank everybody for coming here today. It means a lot. I hope you get something from me to make your career better, and I'll leave you with, it's going to be over sooner than you think. Especially now that I've been off for a little bit, looking back, it seems like yesterday I was working in the jail. So, thank you, and remember y'all the good guys. Be the good guys. Thank you very much.
David, I want you to understand something. You're family. You're always going to be family here, and this is always going to be your home. So you are always going to be welcome here. You don't need an invitation. You are always welcome. So if you would, we're getting ready to conclude, and you can spend time with David, get pictures, and we got some refreshments here. But I would ask everyone who's able to please rise. We're going to give him one more thank you. If you'll please rise. Thank you for 31 years of dedicated service to the citizens of York County and the city of Poquoson. Thank you very much for attending today. And like I said, if you want to spend time with David and get some pictures or whatever, you're more than welcome.